My name's Jack Connor, 41. Blue collar as hell, union HVAC technician out of Cleveland. 20 years on the job. Work boots, calloused hands, old Chevy that still runs better than my cousin's Lexus. My wife's name is Lena. Or was, I guess. We've been married 10 years. No kids, 2 miscarriages, and then her decision to stop trying. I didn't argue. I saw what it did to her. We bought a house on the edge of Parma Heights. Nothing fancy, 3 bedrooms, ugly kitchen tile I always meant to replace but never did. But it was home. I worked. She worked, assistant manager at some boutique gym downtown, trendy place with classes that charge more for yoga than I paid for my first car. We weren't perfect, but I thought we were solid. Until the night I learned otherwise. It started as a normal Thursday. I was working a job site in Minter, big commercial install, 14-hour day. I texted Lena to say I'd be late. No response. Didn't think much of it. Got home around 10:45 p.m. House was dark, her car gone. Figured she was out with friends. Again, lately she'd been going out a lot, girls' nights that seemed to multiply week by week. I grabbed a beer, sat down to watch the late game. About 20 minutes in, I heard a ping. Her iPad, left on the counter. Another ping. Then 2 more. I glanced over. Messages lighting up the screen. From a contact named R. I should have looked away, but something made me pick it up. First message. Miss you already. Can't wait to have you again tomorrow, smiling face with orange dot. Next one. Your body's addictive. You sure your dumbass husband doesn't suspect? The blood drained from my face. I scrolled up. Weeks of messages. Photos. Explicit photos. Dates. Plans. Comments about how clueless Jack was. And Lena's replies, gleeful, unashamed. He's too busy with his man jobs. I get what I really need from you. He wouldn't dare question me. He trusts me too much, face with tears of joy. My hands were shaking. I put the iPad down, and for the next hour, I sat staring at nothing. At 12:23 a.m., her car pulled in. I didn't confront her. I couldn't. Not yet. She walked in, all done up, smelling of someone else's cologne. Hey, you're up late. Kissed the air near my cheek. I mumbled something and let her go to bed. I slept on the couch that night, staring at the ceiling. By morning, I had a plan. See, I'm not a violent man, but I am patient, and I know how to fix things when they're broken. 20 years in HVAC teaches you that. You don't punch the problem. You study it. You understand every bolt and screw. And then you take it apart so perfectly it can't be put back together. That's what I was going to do to Lena. Step 1, confirm everything. I called my cousin Mike. Retired cop. Now runs a private security business on the side. I told him I needed surveillance, no questions asked. He said he'd set it up. 2 days later, Mike had installed a discreet camera in Lena's car and a tracker. I also gave him the iPad. He cloned the messages to monitor real-time. Within a week, the picture was clear. R was a guy named Ryan Kravitz, personal trainer at her gym. Mid-30s, shaved chest, rented BMW, serial womanizer. And Lena? She'd been seeing him 3, sometimes 4 times a week. At his place. In the back office at the gym. Even once in the damn tanning room. But the worst part wasn't the sex. It was the mockery. Jack's clueless, she texted. Even if he found out, he's too much of a beta to do anything. I saw red. But I didn't lose my cool. I waited. And planned. Because this wasn't going to end with me shouting or begging or slamming a door. This was going to end with everyone knowing what Lena really was. And her losing everything she thought she controlled. First, I pulled all my money from our joint account, opened a separate one under my name. Second, I changed the will, the house deed, and updated my emergency contacts, all legal, all clean. Third, I started documenting everything. Mike gave me days of video footage. I took screenshots of every text, printed out photos. I was building a case. Not for court. For something much better. The opportunity came 2 weeks later. Lena's birthday. She'd planned a huge party at our house full of gym friends, her family, her social circle that thought she was an angel. I smiled, helped her plan it. Barbecue. Music. The works. She had no idea. The night before the party, I met with Mike and my buddy Joe, an AV tech. We set up a discrete system in the living room synced to my phone. I had the video clips queued. The messages displayed in a slideshow. Photos in a folder ready to open. All I needed was the right moment. As I lay in bed that night, listening to Lena hum happily as she texted Ryan under the covers, one thought circled in my mind. You think I'm too dumb to fight back. Tomorrow, you'll see just how wrong you were. And I smiled. The morning of the party, Lena was all smiles, humming as she set out decorations, checking her phone constantly. I knew who she was texting. I'd already seen the messages Mike pulled that morning. Can't wait to sneak away after the cake face blowing kiss. Wear that black thing I like. Jack won't suspect a thing. Oh, I suspected plenty. And today, so would everyone else. I kept my cool. Ran errands. Set up the grill. Acted the dutiful husband. By 5 p.m., the house was full. Her gym friends, all fake tan, fake smiles. Her parents, good people who still thought I was the luckiest man alive to have Lena. My brother and a few of our old friends, drinking beers in the backyard, oblivious to the storm I was about to unleash. And then Ryan showed up. Smug, white polo, sunglasses on inside like a douchebag. Slapped my shoulder like we were old pals. Jack, heard a lot about you, man. I stared through him. Yeah, I've heard plenty too. He laughed, clueless. Lena blushed when she saw him. Played it off, but I caught the glance, the unspoken hunger. Perfect. The party rolled on. Lena got drunk fast. Ryan hovered. At one point, I saw them disappear upstairs, not for long, but long enough. I checked my phone. Camera in the bedroom caught them. A quick kiss. Hands where they shouldn't be. Another betrayal, another receipt for the collection. I let it happen, because the best revenge is patient. At 9:30, it was time for the cake. Everyone gathered in the living room. Lights dimmed. Lena beamed in the center, Ryan at the back with a smug grin. I stood by the TV, phone in hand. Before we do the cake, I said, raising my voice, I put together a little slideshow. 10 years with this beautiful woman. Thought it deserved a trip down memory lane. Lena gasped, hands to her mouth. Oh my God, Jack, that's so sweet. Yeah, sweet as arsenic. I tapped play. The screen lit up. First, a few innocent photos, our wedding, trips, her with friends. People smiled, laughed. Then came the shift. A text popped on screen. Your body's addictive. Can't wait for tomorrow, smiling face with orange dot. A ripple through the room. Confused murmurs. Another text. He's too dumb to suspect. I get what I need from you. Now face is returning. Lena's smile froze. Jack, what is this? She whispered, voice cracking. I ignored her. Tapped to the next slide, a short clip of her and Ryan in the gym's back office. Clear as day. The room exploded. Gasps. Shouts. Chair scraping back. Her mother started crying. Her father stood up, face red with fury. Lena, he said hoarsely. What the hell is this? She stumbled forward, tears streaking her makeup. Jack, please, stop this. I cut the feed. Looked straight at her. No more lies. No more pretending. You humiliated me behind my back for months. Now you get to live it, right here, with everyone watching. Ryan tried to bolt. Mike, standing by the door, blocked him. Not so fast, lover boy. The room was chaos. Lena sank to her knees, sobbing. Her friends backed away like she was radioactive. Her father stormed out. Her mother sat in the corner, shaking her head. And me? I stood tall, calm, cold, exactly as I'd planned. When the dust settled, I spoke one last time. For those wondering, divorce papers are filed. House is now solely mine. Joint accounts drained and protected. And yes, full documentation of this is going to the gym's corporate office. Enjoy your unemployment, Ryan. I walked out to the backyard. Lit a cigarette with hands that didn't shake anymore. Freedom tastes a lot like Marlboro. That night, Lena called 20 times. Texts, emails, begging, apologizing, blaming Ryan, blaming me. I blocked every number. Mike texted me later. Corporate got the file. Ryan's terminated. Lena's on suspension. Her world's burning. I smiled. Not out of joy. Out of justice. The woman who once mocked me to her lover now had nothing but ashes. And I had my life back. And this was only the beginning. The morning after the party was quiet.
Sorry to interrupt your viewing experience, but we really need your support, namely a subscription to the channel, which can make it possible to hire a professional voice actor and make the best content for you.
Too quiet. I brewed coffee, sat at the kitchen table, and waited. By 9 a.m. the first text came in, friends, coworkers, even old high school buddies. Man, what the hell happened at your place last night? Bro. That was legendary. You okay? We had no idea. News spreads fast in a town like this. And betrayal? It spreads fastest of all. Around noon, Lena showed up. I heard her car screech into the driveway, door slam, heels pounding up the steps. She burst into the kitchen, face puffy, mascara still smeared from the night before. "Jack," she sobbed. "Please, we need to talk." I didn't get up. Didn't even look her in the eye. "You've said enough." She dropped to her knees in front of me, grabbing my arm. It wasn't what it looked like. "Ryan," he pressured me. "I was stupid. I thought you didn't love me anymore. You were always at work." I pulled my arm free. "You chose him. You mocked me. You made your bed. Now sleep in it." Her voice cracked. "I'll lose my job. My parents won't speak to me. Please, Jack, can't we fix this?" I stared coldly. "Fix this? You burned it all down. You just didn't expect to get caught." She crumpled on the floor, sobbing. I let her cry. Then I stood. "You have until tomorrow to get your stuff." After that, the locks change. I walked out. Didn't look back. Over the next week, her life unraveled. Mike kept me updated. Her gym's corporate HQ had fired Ryan and formally terminated association with Lena. Her parents cut contact. Her mother texted me. "I'm so sorry, Jack. We had no idea. You didn't deserve this." I thanked her but kept it short. They weren't my family anymore. Meanwhile, Lena tried everything. Emails, handwritten letters, even showed up at my brother's house, begging him to talk to me. He slammed the door in her face. One afternoon, Mike handed me a thumb drive. "Figured you'd want the full file, in case she tries to twist the story." I thanked him, stored it safely. Because women like Lena, they rewrite history when the tears dry. A week later, the divorce moved fast. Lena, desperate, signed everything my lawyer put in front of her. No alimony, no house, no joint assets. She had nothing left to fight with. Then came the final blow. I discovered, through Mike's digging, that Lena had lied on multiple gym client contracts, falsified trainer credentials, charged clients for sessions with senior trainers who weren't certified. I sent a polite tip to a local fitness influencer, big mouth, bigger following. The story blew up online. Lena's name got dragged through the mud, not just as a cheater, but as a scammer. Sponsors pulled. Clients demanded refunds. Her reputation was radioactive. She moved out of state 3 weeks later, tail between her legs. I wish I could say I felt triumphant, but in truth, I felt free. I didn't need Lena ruined to be happy. I just needed her gone, and the truth known. One rainy night, about 2 months after it all blew up, I got a single email. No subject line. "I'm sorry. You were always good to me. I ruined everything. I hope you find happiness again." I read it once, then deleted it. Some things don't deserve a reply. Now, the house is quiet, peaceful. I ripped out the old kitchen tile, finally. Built a new workshop in the garage. And every time I drive past the gym, see a new manager's name on the sign, I smile. Because sometimes the sweetest revenge isn't destruction. It's knowing that when the smoke clears, you're still standing. And they aren't. The hardest part wasn't the betrayal. It was the after. The silence. For 10 years, I built a life around Lena. Now that life was ash and smoke. But you know what? Ash makes good soil. You just have to plant new things. The house felt too big for a while. Too many empty rooms. Too many ghosts. But I kept moving. Pulled long hours at work. Took weekend projects. Started running again, something I hadn't done since before we married. The nights were worst. When the house got dark and the mind wandered. That's when I'd remind myself this was her choice. She chose deception. She chose humiliation. And she chose a man who didn't even stick around when things burned. Ryan? He was gone 2 weeks after the fallout. "Skip town," gym friends said. His reputation blacklisted in every fitness circle from Cleveland to Columbus. Good riddance. Around month 3 post-divorce, the text slowed. Lena finally stopped trying to reach out. Her last attempt had been pathetic. "I know you hate me, but I miss you. I miss us." Us? There was no us left. She killed that the moment she invited another man into our marriage and laughed behind my back. I didn't reply. Some things deserve silence more than screams. Meanwhile, word kept spreading. A buddy from the trades told me that Lena's old gym circle had fractured. Some stood by her fools. Most didn't. The gym rebranded entirely new name, new staff, trying to shake off the scandal stink. But Cleveland's a small town in some ways. People remember. Reputations stick like grease under your fingernails. And every time Lena tried to resurface, offering online coaching, starting a new Instagram account, Someone would share the story. Clients bailed. Sponsors ghosted her. She thought she could outrun it. But betrayal leaves a long shadow. As for me, I found clarity. Without the weight of Lena's lies, my life got lighter. I reconnected with old friends, joined a local car club, started fixing up a '67 Mustang I'd let rot in the garage for years. Even dated again, slowly. Met a woman named Erin, nurse, sharp as hell, no tolerance for bullshit. I took it slow, real slow. Trust doesn't grow back overnight. But when I told her the story, the whole thing, she looked me in the eye and said, "You handled it better than most men would. Hell, better than I would." And for the first time in a long time, I believed it. Lena did try one final move. 6 months after the party, I got a letter from her lawyer. She wanted to contest the divorce terms, claiming she'd signed under emotional distress. Bullshit. She was drowning, grasping at anything to stay afloat. My lawyer laughed. We sent a polite but firm response, with documentation of her texts, videos, and corporate termination. 2 weeks later, her lawyer withdrew. Game over. I never set out to ruin her life. But she handed me the match and the gasoline. All I did was let her light the fuse. Now, I live with no guilt, no shame, no Lena. And when people tell me they heard the story, I just smile and say, every man's got a line. She crossed mine. Freedom isn't loud. It's quiet mornings. It's cold beer on the porch. It's driving a rebuilt Mustang down empty roads with the windows down. And it's knowing that when life tried to break you, you stood your ground. That's the best revenge of all. By the 8-month mark, I barely thought about her. Lena had faded from my daily life. A memory, sharp around the edges, but worn thin. I heard occasional updates through friends. She'd moved to a small apartment on the east side. Tried and failed to start 2 online businesses. Last anyone knew, she was working at some strip mall fitness center, part-time, scraping by. None of it brought me joy, but it brought closure. She'd built her tower on lies and mockery. And when it collapsed, she had no one left. I was in a better place. Work was steady. The Mustang was nearly finished, cherry red with a rebuilt V8 that rumbled like thunder. And Erin? Still in my life. No pressure, no drama. Just a woman who knew what scars looked like and didn't flinch. We kept it honest. Real. Sometimes, when we sat on the porch watching storms roll in, she'd ask, "You ever think about her?" I'd answer truthfully. Not with hate, just with relief. And I meant it. But sometimes life likes to twist the knife. It was a Friday night in July. Hot as hell, air thick as soup. I was grabbing beer at the local grocery store when I heard it. "Jack!" I turned. There she was. Lena. Thin. Pale. Hair tied back. No makeup. Eyes sunken. A shadow of the woman who used to strut through life like the Queen of Cleveland. She stared at me like a ghost. Can we talk?" she asked softly. I looked her up and down. Nothing left to say. She blinked fast, tears welling. I ruined everything. I know that. I've lost everyone. I can't find steady work. My parents won't speak to me. I just needed you to know. I'm sorry. I didn't soften. Didn't offer comfort. You needed me to know? I already knew. The night you chose Ryan over your vows, I knew. She hugged herself, shaking. I was stupid. I was selfish. You were always good to me. I didn't deserve you. I held her gaze steady. You're right. You didn't. And with that, I picked up my beer and walked past her. Didn't look back. That night, I told Erin. She squeezed my hand. You did what most couldn't. You faced it with dignity. She has to live with her choices. You get to live free. And damn if that wasn't the truth. A month later, the divorce was formally closed, final certificate in hand. No more ties. No more strings. I framed the certificate. Not out of spite. As a reminder. A symbol of survival. Then came one last echo. Late September. I got an email from an unknown address. "Jack, I'm leaving Cleveland. I can't stay here anymore. Too many bridges burned. Too many mistakes. I wanted to tell you. Not because I expect forgiveness, but because leaving is the only way I can start again. You deserve better. I hope you find someone who gives you that. Goodbye, Lena." I stared at it for a long moment, then deleted it. No reply. No more echoes. Now, I drive that Mustang down empty back roads on crisp fall mornings. Work is good. Life is simple. Erin and I take it slow, and that's fine. I don't tell this story often, but when I do, people ask, if you could go back, would you have done it the same way? My answer? Every damn step. Because there's a kind of justice no court can give. A justice where the betrayer watches their empire fall brick by brick and knows you didn't have to raise your voice to make it happen. Just facts, just truth, just consequences, and peace. Above all, peace. Fall faded into winter. Another year turned over, and with it, the last of the weight I'd carried slid away. You don't really notice when healing happens. It's not a grand moment. It's the little things, waking up without that tightness in your chest, laughing without guilt, trusting your own judgment again. I had all that now. Lena was gone from Cleveland. Rumor said she moved to a small town in Indiana, trying to start fresh. I didn't care. Let her rebuild. Let her stumble. That was her road now, not mine. Erin and I got closer. She had her own ghosts, a bad marriage in her past, and we understood each other in ways that didn't need explaining. One night, curled up on the couch, she said, "You're not bitter, Jack. That's rare." I smiled. Bitterness is a poison you drink hoping the other person dies. She kissed me slow. "And that's why you're worth it." Work got even busier. Promoted to foreman, more responsibility, but I liked the challenge. I poured myself into projects. The Mustang became my weekend therapy, loud, proud, mine. Freedom feels good at 70 miles per hour on an empty highway. One random Thursday, almost a year to the day after the party, I got a letter in my mailbox. Handwritten. No return address. But I knew the handwriting. It was short. "Jack, I know this is the last thing you want to hear from me, but I needed you to know I'm sober now. I'm in therapy. I'm trying to be better, not for anyone else. For me. What I did to you, there's no apology strong enough. You were good to me. I betrayed that. And every day, I carry that truth. I'll never bother you again. I just wanted you to know I'm trying. Goodbye." Lena. I sat with it for a long time. Did I forgive her? No. But I no longer needed to. She'd carry her own cross. I wasn't holding the nails anymore. I folded the letter once and dropped it in the fire pit out back. Watched the flames take it. Watched the past turn to ash. And with that, the chapter closed. Today, I wake up early, brew strong coffee, work an honest day. I have a good woman beside me, no lies, no games. I have friends who stood by me. I have peace. Sometimes, when the nights get cold and the wind whistles through the trees, I think back. Not with anger, not with sadness, just a quiet truth. I survived. I stood my ground. I reclaimed my life. If you're reading this, if someone ever burns you the way Lena burned me, here's what I'll tell you. Don't let the rage consume you. Don't throw fists. Use your mind. Use the truth. Let the facts do the work. And when they've lost everything they gambled on, you walk away, head high, free. Because revenge isn't about fire. It's about standing tall in the ashes, untouched.
What do you think of the story? Write in the comments.